Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So we are from group 5 and we have 5 members. They are Raihani, Dyah Dwi Wulansari, Denok Purborini, Alifa, Ardla, Farahdila, and Wafa'ul Afifah. Okay, let's just go to the next page. Okay, we can see that it's written there, materials. Yeah, there are 3 materials that we are going to talk today. The first one is stage of story analysis with narratology, or second stage. Yeah, especially we're going to talk about the second stage, that is determine the goals. And second one, that is what is story goals, or in Bahasa Indonesia, sometimes we just call it like kaidah cerita. And then the third one is 2 levels of story goals based on structuralism story. And yeah, those are the 3 materials that we're going to talk. And next, as you can see, here's a mind map that we have made, and you can see the red box right there. Yeah, second stage, determine the genre rules of romance story. So we're going to talk about that and discuss about that. So I hope you enjoy and can understand it well.
What is rules? Rules are values which we must comply with beforehand in order not to be clearly explained. In making stories, there are grammar and rules that we need to follow so that the stories we create can be easily accepted and understood by readers. In speaking, sometimes we don't realize that we are using language rules because we are used to it. Grammar rules or language rules will be felt if we use two languages or two different types of genres in a story. Understanding the rules is very necessary in determining the validity of the criteria for the rules. Because by understanding the rules or rules of grammar, the story to be conveyed will be more structured and easy to understand. Readers who learn these language rules will also find it easier to understand the story being read. Readers will also find it easier to know the genre and arrangement of events in the story. The genres we write about have a clear order. After following the rules and then understanding them well, writers will be able to write stories with a clear genre. Because in the story writing, understanding and application of the rules is needed to create a story that has a clear genre, sequences, and is easy to understand.
Based on structuralized theory, we can analyzing the story rules. The first level is determining the rules for organizing events that apply in general. Story scholars who use structural theory refers to this level as story sequence analysis. The sequence in question is the rule for the sequence of events in the story. By being aware of the sequence rule, we can understand why an event is chosen and how one event is connected with another. We can also compare stories with one another. To what extent a story obeys these rules or deviates from them. Second level is determining the rules for organizing events that apply in genre, especially romance. Romance stories continue to grow and develop, giving birth to various subgenres. Therefore, the study material is still wide open for analysis, so that the emergence of new rules can be understood. Here are 3 steps that must be taken. The first step is to collect and select some of romance story. We can also choose a specific story medium, whether in the form of novels, short stories, films, comics, manga, and other forms of medium. It cannot be determined exactly how many texts should be collected. It depends on the extent to which rules can be found. The second step is to carry out a detailed analysis of the main event of each romance story that we have collected. In this process, we also need to consider the general sequence rule so that the main event we detail are not arranged haphazardly, but in an arrangement according to general rules. And the third step is we must comparing the result of the analysis in the second step, which is to compare all the romance story that we choose one by one to build the rules of the genre sequence. Here we must demonstrate our ability to discover the basic similarities hidden behind the different main event of each of the stories analyzed.
In this slide, I will tell you more about the process after the second level of analyzing story rules based on structuralism theory. In the second level, we determine the rules for organizing events that applied in certain genre, especially romance. After all the third step, which is finding, analyzing, and comparing some romance stories, we can divide the sequence rules into 5 stages. The first stage is equilibrium, or we can say as a stable situation. The second stage is disruption. The third stage is recognition or realization. The fourth stage is repair the damage or restore order. And the fifth stage is equilibrium again, or we can say as a new stable situation. And this new stable situation are different from the stable situation at the first stage. These sequences rules can be used for composing new romance story with some sub-genre or another sub-genre. In the last 2 slides of our presentation, Denok and I will try to analyze the sequences rules or kaidah sequence in the short story. I will explain the sequence rules or kaidah sequence of the short story pertemuan, and Denok will try to compare the pertemuan short story, the sequence rule of the pertemuan short story with some other stories. Well, according to Todorov, there are 5 stages of sequence rules or kaidah sequence. Here we have 6 main events in the story of pertemuan, and I will try to analyze it. The first main event, which is Cleo breakup. This event is called as a state of equilibrium. The stage located at the beginning of the story. And then we move to the second main event, which is Cleo goes to Jakarta to forget her ex-boyfriend. This stage is called as disruption or equilibrium. This stage is called as disruption to equilibrium, or we can call it as disequilibrium. In this stage, the characters started to get disturbance in life. An event that happened in this stage will disrupt the stage of equilibrium and will bring to the next stage, which is called recognition or realization. The recognition or realization stage is, the recognition or realization stage at this short story is Cleo's trip to Yogyakarta, and she meets a boy that looks like her ex-boyfriend, and then she is falling in love with him. And then the next stage is repair the damage or restore order. In Pertemuan short story, the event when Cleo and Raditya were separated uncomfortably because Raditya has a girlfriend, that event called as restored order or repair the damage, because in this stage the character tries to fix and manage the problem in the story. And we are here in the last stage. The last stage is called as equilibrium again. The main event is Cleo and Raditya meet again accidentally in the night festival market of Sekaten, and then they are repeating the intimacy between them. Nah, this is the last stage where the character solved the problem and reach the new state of equilibrium. Well, so those are the analysis of sequences, rules or kaidah sequence of the short story pertemuan, and the next explanation will be delivered by Denok.
Hi, so next I'm Denok Purborini gonna explain to you about the comparison between the three short stories that have the same genre. It is romance genre. So yeah, after Alifa the Farahdila explained about the Qaeda sequence of a one story, I'm gonna tell you the comparison. It shows that actually different kind of story who have the same genre I usually have the same pattern, or we called it Qaeda or rules. And yeah, for the first part, we can find in every three kind of story that have the same genre, it is romance genre, have the same situation. It's first situation. It's called seimbang awal. And then the second part, there is gonna be a changement. Like the situation will be moved kinda a little bit different than before. And it is gonna raising such a conflict that's gonna happen in a story. So we can find it here when Cleo go to the Yogyakarta to forget his ex girlfriend. I'm sorry to say wrong thing. And then yeah, as you see, and then the other story have similar pattern to it on the second part. And then on the third part, we're gonna talk about the situation which is unbalanced. So in this part, the writer is kinda spice up a little bit kind of conflict that would trigger the reader to craving the resolution, or how this character gonna respond the problem or the conflict. And then after this part, usually the story showing such a changement again in order to respond the problem that or the conflict that the writers created before. And in this part, as you see, Cleo and Raditya separated because they're uncomfortable, because Raditya still have love with his old ex-girlfriend, and it seemed like the other story, like David invite Faika in an event, such an event, and show the secret of his broken heart story with other girl, and until now he couldn't forget it. So there still had a problem in that kind of situation. And in order to find a result of where's the ending, and then boom, they create a new situation that will provide us about the new balance of the story. So after they got a problem, lows and high, finally the writer provide their solution that will make a peace in the reader's heart. Like there'll be happy ending or this kind of things. It's up to the writers. So yeah. So the conclusion is there would be a 6 stage in romance genre that could be the classification to separate it, the different kind of stage to make the story well balanced, and it will create a great story. And of course, in every genre have a different kind of classification. maybe it could be different when it's horror or when it's thriller, because every kind of genre has its own characteristic. And here's what I told you before, what I explained to you, it is the characteristic of romance genre. Thank you so much. I hope you get the information that I explained to you, and I hope you understand the meaning that I was delivered. And thank you so much for listening. I apologize if there's a misunderstanding or something unpleasant in my presentation. I really apologize for that, but I hope you are satisfied of what we explained here in this presentation. Thank you so much for listening this presentation. I hope you guys always stay safe. And anyway, if there's a question or you gonna give us advice, you are very welcome. And see you next week. Thank you so much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.